Welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean. The Book Eaters is a cross-genre gothic thriller set in the mid-90s, blending bits of horror and fantasy and, of course, a really tight thriller pacing that carries you through. It's the story of a woman, a book eater, Devon, who is a member of this sort of group of people, beings, who are said to have been sent to Earth by some numinous alien being long ago to gather knowledge, and they do this by eating books. Just have an extra pair of teeth in there, and they chomp on some books, hardcovers, paperbacks, manuscripts, the lot. And every so often, among these book eaters, there are members of the species, the group, who don't eat books, but eat minds instead, eat brains. They have these sort of very long, twirling, proboscis-like tongues that they flick out and get all like squicky into ears. It's a deliciously squicky kind of book in a couple of places, and a lot of fun. And for all that the word vampire is not used in The Book Eaters, it is something that I consider a part of the vampirescence that we're having in the sort of book culture at the moment, where this idea of vampirism is fun and fashionable again, and a book like The Book Eaters is doing that very well. It really is a book about family, about escaping from abusive familial and social situations. You know, if you're familiar at all with really hardline fundamentalist religious groups and the hold that that can have on families, there's going to be things here in The Book Eaters that ring true. It's about being a mother to a disabled child and not knowing always what it's like and what you need to do to protect and take care of a child who is at times a danger, if not only to themselves, certainly to others, being a mind eater. And so the whole sort of driving plot of this novel is this desire to avoid as much of the harm as possible inherent to this situation, and to escape from the structures and confines of the book eater life. So I had a great time with it. Just really wonderful here at the end of summer on a stormy afternoon when we're starting to dream of cooler weather, and I had to make a drink inspired by The Book Eaters, which is what we're all here for. So, without any further ado, why don't we turn to today's drink. This is the Inktea. One of the things that they do in the book, besides eating books, is they make an ink tea. And so we're going to make our version of an ink tea for us today. And we're going to start with our really special ingredient, because it does take a little bit of time for this to dissolve, and that is squid ink. It can't be an ink tea without a little bit of ink, and this is going to make our cocktail really beautifully, deliciously black. It's not going to add a ton of flavor, so you don't have to worry about your cocktail ending up kind of briny or fishy, but it is going to add that really nice rich black color that's going to look like ink, and it's going to be a lot safer than other ways of making a cocktail black. You don't want to use activated charcoal, just your public service announcement here on Bar Cart Bookshelf. You don't ever want to use activated charcoal in a cocktail or mocktail. It can interact poorly if you're taking certain medications, and you just really want to be wary about that in drinks. Squid ink, on the other hand, is not going to have those issues and is really just going to add a wonderful bit of color. We don't need a whole lot. We're really just going to sort of dip the bar spoon in there and get sort of just a coating here on the edge. You can see we've got a bit there on the tip and then on the back as well. Hold it up so it's not against my shirt. And we'll get that in the mixing glass. Wonderful. Next, we've got our base spirit. As we're escaping from the book eaters, this is the early 90s, and the mid-90s, excuse me, and so this open border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland plays a role. Ireland, for Devon, is a place of escape and some place that she's really drawn to, trying to get to, and so we will be using Irish whiskey as our base spirit. This is the Sexton Irish whiskey. I've been looking forward to finding a cocktail for it for a while now this year, and now that we're heading into cooler days, I'm so excited to have found that in the book eaters and look forward to finding more opportunities to use this bottle in the months to come. It's just a very pleasant Irish whiskey, good for sipping, and also not so precious that you don't mind using it in cocktails. Wonderful. We're going to get 1.5 ounces of that in there. As you can see, because it is sort of a low, wide bottle, I am using the speed pourer here. If you are using this particular Irish whiskey, I would recommend doing that. And it's just wonderfully gothic looking, which feels, again, apt to the book eaters. And we'll give that just a bit of a stir to start because we want to get that squid ink going as best we can. Wonderful, wonderful. Next, we've got some sweet vermouth, Carpano Antica, a bar cart bookshelf favorite ingredient, going to bring a bit of like red wine richness, but also some spiced sort of herbal notes. Really going to be a nice sort of sweetening, but also balancing ingredient there. And we're going to get 1 ounce of that. Wonderful. So we've got our sweet vermouth, our Irish whiskey. You can see we're sort of doing a Manhattan variation, but kicked up something special. And our final make it real special ingredient is going to be some fig liqueur. This fig liqueur, it's made with dried figs, so it gets this wonderful sort of old book quality to it. You can use it in lots of different ways, but here with the sweet vermouth and with the Irish whiskey and with that bit of squid ink, it's really reminiscent of an old book and something that's going to be just rich and dark and satisfying. We're going to get 1/2 ounce of that in there. Wonderful. We're going to stir just a little bit more to get that squid ink dissolved just a little bit more. And you can already see, even before we add our ice, that it's looking very dark from not only our ingredients, but also from the squid ink. And it's going to get even more so. We'll get our ice in there. Lovely, lovely. And give that a stir. And you'll want to stir that until the level of the ice is about equal with the level of the water. Just a nice, even dilution there. As the storms rage around us, feels really appropriate for one of our favorite genres of, or subgenres of book here on Bar Cart Bookshelf, the Gothic. And I'm sure as I look out the window when we've completed our drink that it will be suitably atmospheric and Gothic looking. So that'll be something for us all to look forward to. And I'm sure rainier days ahead for a lot of us as we head into fall winter here. Now, get our julep strainer, get that hooked onto the edge, and strain into our Manhattan cocktail glass. Get that just right up, just exactly the perfect size. And as you can see, it basically disappears against my shirt. A very rich, inky black for our cocktail. This is the Inktea in honor of the Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean. The Book Eaters is available now. Got a link to snag the book down below. Link to the Boston Shaker, where we get our tools for today's episode, to Twitter and Instagram, where there's always a written version of today's recipe. Please try the drink. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button. Hit the bell in the corner so you never miss an episode. Share, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure that you tune in every week, Tuesdays at noon, for a new cocktail or mocktail. We've got some fun ones coming up for this season. And until next time, cheers.